Hi guys, welcome to the video. And if you're dissatisfied with your times, then you really need to watch this video because I'm going to tell you how to correct it and why you should correct it. Because I see it, especially in my own experiences as being a 400-meter athlete and seeing it and coaching other athletes as well, this dissatisfaction. And I'm going to tell you why it's so bad. It's why it's critical that you change it. The fact is, in society, they promote dissatisfaction in yourself, in your progress, as a good thing. And we see it in world-class athletes themselves as the fact that they are dissatisfied where they are. They're always dissatisfied. They're not happy where they are, and that gives them the energy to keep on improving, which is a lot of misunderstandings about that. And I do not agree with that assessment in the fact there's certain things that they promote first, they concentrate on, that the dissatisfaction, it becomes obsolete, as it were. So the thing about it is when you see these athletes that say they actually haven't understood where they're coming from, and they're drawing the wrong conclusions from their own experiences as it is. You've got to watch this because athletes, there's the older quote that success leaves clues. Well, I've got a response to that is that talent smudges those clues. And for a lot of elite athletes, they will draw conclusions about their career and they haven't thought about it enough to explain it to you. They instinctively know, but they essentially haven't thought about it enough to explain it properly and educate it properly. So they're actually giving you kind of the wrong information. You've got to be careful with that. So take what they say with a pinch of salt. Although they instinctively know how to do it, they don't know how to explain it to you, and they don't know how to teach it to you. The problem is dissatisfaction. They never wallow. Those world-class athletes never wallow on dissatisfaction. They might be dissatisfied and say, I don't want this, but they're always concentrating on what can I do better? How can I improve? And they always think, I am going to improve. And their conviction and confidence in that. So it's not this dissatisfaction that's actually that they're using the energy there. That's actually a negative. The problem is when, for most people, most athletes, I see it a lot, and it happened to me, is when we use dissatisfaction and wallow it, and we use it as a negativity. And when we use it as a negativity, that is going to weaken the body. I do a test in my muscle activation sessions, my glute activation sessions, and I show them through this muscle test how the body reacts to negative emotions. And essentially, when we think about a negative emotion or something that stresses us out, or somebody that stresses out, I do the muscle test on the arms and they're weak, and it makes it weaker. But if they think about the positive, think about promote the positive emotions that the person actually promotes, inspiring in their career, then they're strong and they're ultimately. So negative emotions actually makes you weak. And the problem is when athletes wallow in that negativity, that dissatisfaction for where they are now makes them weaker, and it's going to sustain the performance levels you have at the moment. If you're dissatisfied now, you'll continue to be dissatisfied and you continue to get the same results. And it happened to me. The only reason that got me out of this is when I actually changed those times when I didn't put pressure on myself, and it happened naturally. PBs came naturally when I didn't put pressure on myself. I was loose, I was light, and I didn't expect too much. And I'll tell you this one, the difference between dissatisfaction and why there's so much misunderstanding about it is the fact that we haven't thought about it. And my experience of one occasion when I did a PB in the 400 was actually when I was turning up to do a 400-meter hurdles race. And the 400-meter hurdles race was earlier in the day. And I turned up late for it and I missed the race. And I was livid with myself. I was so angry. I turned up, I made the travel arrangements, I made the effort, and I thought, I'm not going to race. But I managed to actually get an entry into the 400 meters, flat 400 meters later on in the day. And I managed to get in as a late entry. And I thought, right, I'm not leaving here without a PB. I made that decision in my mind. I'm not going to leave here without a PB. And sure enough, I did the race and I made that decision and I did a PB, even though I'd been injured for the previous weeks and I'd done next to no training in that month. I went around and did a PB. Because I made a decision in my mind. Now, it wasn't the anger at myself that actually promoted that. That gave me the energy. It was the decision in my mind to say, I am going to do a personal best. I'm not coming out of here without a faster time. And that was the mentality I had going into that race. And when you make that decision, That's going to be the actual outcome. So when we think about dissatisfaction, we're actually promoting a negative. And if you're wallowing in it and putting too much negative in the fact I'm making no progress, that's actually making it a negative issue on your character. And you're actually saying, as a person, I'm making no progress. That's what it promotes to. So you need to stop that. When you go into a training session, if you've had what looks a kind of a bad training session, or you've had a bad race, you've got to look to the positives first. You must promote and there are positives in there. You just have to know where to look. And you have to promote, even when you don't want to, in your mind works like, that was a bad race, that was a bad race. You must stop that instantly, look at the positives and promote the positives. That doesn't mean you don't change. But the first thing after every race is you look at the positives. And then you go to see what you could improve upon later. But you magnify the positives. And you have, even if you do, even if it's a little bit diluted in your mind. You see, your mind wants to actually think about those negative thoughts. It wants to keep you where you are, and the ego in your mind wants to keep you where you are. It's going to tell you that wasn't good enough. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're wasting your time. You're not going to get better. All those minds, it's just the ego telling you to keep you where you are, to keep you suppressed. But you've got to get out of that and notice it in your own mind and take the positive out of the race first and foremost, magnify, and then later take what you could have done better. You've got to shut down that dissatisfaction with yourself and your times. That if you're dissatisfied, you'll continue to be dissatisfied. If you actually stop it and change your mental outlook, how you do it, then you'll start to relax. The dissatisfaction seeps into your training, and actually your negativity is going to make you slower. As I said, that muscle test makes people slower and makes people weaker. And if you're slower and weaker, that's not going to help you get better. It's the positive emotions that are going to make you quicker. So hopefully that video was helpful for you. If you live near Taunton, please, and you want to know more about this, then you should book a muscle activation session with me, a glute activation session, because what I do is I promote these positive energy, and you come out of my sessions in a positive, relaxed frame of mind. That's the best way to go and run faster. But if you don't live near me, then please, hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you're going through those times where you're actually not improving, hopefully this will inspire you to change your mental outlook on it. If you could like the video, I really would appreciate. If you could share it, I really would appreciate that. And it just leaves me to say, enjoy the rest of the week.